Hello and welcome to the first game of the Amaterasu Heavens Gauntlet. Today we have the Amber's Britches versus the Filthy Oars, and I'll put it to you, Atuxiu, to explain the league.
Hey guys, this is Amaterasu's first game of their Bring Your Own Team tournament that we are hosting, called Heaven's Gauntlet. The just I don't know what to say. It's just a great time for you to bring your friends, challenge other teams, and just and get to enjoy the time here at Amaterasu's presence.
KingKrabb. I can't see the picks and bans. You're on stream mute. Cool. As I pull it up right now, yeah. So right now, Mage Soul Laners are huge pickup. That's what people usually either ban out or look to pick. Chernobog, also with the global presence, is also a prio pick and ban. What are your thoughts on the meta, and what are you expecting to see today, Tuxia?
Already seeing the this Athena and Cherno band does not surprise me. Very strong picks with their global presence, being able to be on any side of the map at any time. Does not surprise me. Definitely going to be interesting to see which who gets picked up for mid. Again, seeing this Oleron Raijin again, just really strong picks currently.
Yeah, in my opinion, I think that or not Raijin. Olorin is counter pickable, but they just might be just comfort ban. Oh, they also are banning out the Ur, so definitely more on the comfort side of bans. This leaves open Morgan Le Fay. It opens up Ares, Baba Yaga, and they ban out on her. That is the Filthy Oars.
Definitely some solid bands. I understand that Uller had a bit of a buff this recent patch, which is probably why he's being banned out um, currently.
And we see the Rotodisker first pick. I think that's pretty strong. Rotodisker, really good with a global presence, can fill out multiple roles, has a lot of damage regardless of the role that it plays. Um, and yeah, I think that's a pretty strong first pick. What are your thoughts on being first or second pick? What would you prefer, Tuxia?
Uh, Always definitely first pick. Ooh, I love that Ganesh pickup. Definitely my favorite Guardian to play, mostly because it's very easy.
Mm-hmm.
And but it still gives such a great presence to your team. Um, the the rat pickup is really strong with its semi global presence and being able to just
Mm-hmm.
seemingly come out of nowhere.
Right. This does leave open on the table for Amber's Britches to pick up Ares, which is reasonably strong into a Ganesha, and here we see the Amalok, which I think is good because Rotodisker again can fill multiple roles. So you can also see Rotodisker go jungle and then Amaterasu go solo, and pretty much the only viable warrior right now is Amaterasu. So unless they're going, there's the Morgan Le Fay as I would expect to be the mage soul laner. We'll see how they fill out the rest or the remaining slot of the first three picks for Ember's Britches.
Yes, definitely. Seeing I would guess jungle and mid, but that could also still be jungle and solo, jungle and really anything. Morgan Le Fay is in a very strong state currently.
Yeah, she can
At
definitely
least
fill out the soul lane or mid lane role. And
definitely.
here we see the Discordia pickup, so they are going Morgan Le Fay solo and Discordia mid. What do you think about what do you think about picking the two mages? Do you think that's strong?
I think that is a, a very forward move. I feel like, at least in my own opinion, you would maybe want to hold off on that second mage, so that
Yeah,
way that so that way they would ban more mages that you definitely weren't going to pick, like the Thoth and the Agni here
yeah,
in the second half.
right. And there are definitely like you can ban out Yamoja if you're comfy with that. You can ban out like Thor. You can ban out like a lot of jungler options are on the table right now to ban out, and they might just prile that. The Filthy Oars might go ahead and ban out the Ares, but with the Ravana pick, might not even be bannable because again, Amaterasu, CC immune ultimate, Ravana damage and CC immune 2 and CC immune ult. it might give the Ganesha, but it might not even be worth a ban from the Filthy Ore side.
Definitely not. I can't imagine. At least with the current pickups, at least as a Ganesh player, why I would be. Oh, I stand corrected.
Yeah, just too scared of the
Getting
Ares.
Ares out of there, it's definitely a nice pick.
Yep, and there's the
Um,
Umoja. So they do leave the junglers on the table. So there are a lot of options for the britches. Um, and they also chose not to. Oh wait, I don't even know this, but is Brigitte even available for this tournament or at this for
I
this game?
I did look at that, and Baba Yaga is banned right now,
Baba
unless
Yaga's banned too. Okay. Okay, so just Brigitte. We see the Baba Yaga and the Agni bans. I think those are very solid bans. Two very strong mid laners in this current meta, especially into a Discordia. You don't want to see those bombs getting just free poke or just kill a lot of kill potential and a lot of range to outrange the Discordia poke. Um, that Ishtar is going probably into the ADC role. Out of the remaining, especially with the Freya nerfs to her ultimate, the remaining ADC pickups, Ishtar is probably up there for the top picks. Um, what are your thoughts on the pick? Yeah, Ishtar does bring a lot to the table with the ultimate, has really good burst potential, not only on gods, but also objectives. And with the buffs to Windseaman, she's able to burst them pretty dang quickly. Here's the Hachiman pickup. Um, I have seen Ishtar played more than Hachiman in the SPL. Um, I think that Hachiman does bring a little bit more to the table, but it's still a good pickup here.
definitely so. Yeah, I do apologize about that. I lost power for a second.
Oh shit.
And we are
Oh, my
back.
bad. I'm
We
out.
are back now,
So,
so we are good.
yeah, Sharon. Okay, so last pick Sharon. So this is a pick that like I think that is sneaky good if you can play it well and it scales really good into late game, but you just have to hit that point. That ultimate can completely change a team fight. Really strong, gives your whole team MS, taunts the enemy team if it hits them, just and is like basically unmissable. It's pretty dang hard to miss that Sharon ult. If it's used wisely, it can turn an entire team fight again. And there's the Hera pickup. I was surprised to not see more Hera earlier. I think Hera with the buffs is in a pretty strong state right now, and especially when she's going into like a Discordia and a Morgan Le Fay, just having Argus there to just like run them down and do a lot of damage. And then the Hera shield for the dive from the Ratatoskr, pretty good.
it it definitely is a very kind of disgusting comp that these two teams have against each other.
Yeah,
With a I would assume Morgan Le Fay solo. Um, uh,
yeah,
Discordia mid with at the very least, if not offering the her apple, she is offering a damage buff to whoever has top damage,
yeah. That passive
which
is
is
very strong.
um and and always having to look up for Wrath ult is definitely going to do a lot for them.
Mhm.
Um, but Ganesh with just anyone is something to be reckoned with.
Yeah.
Um,
Um, so out of these two teams, the way that I see team fights going are for the britches with their comp. They're looking for like a long range poke attrition battle. And then when they're finally able to dunk, they have really good chase down with the Sharon and Ratatoskr. That's what I'm thinking that their team fight is gonna look like, or they're gonna want to pursue. I do think that the Filthy Oars have a better traditional team fight, and if they're on the front foot, they have like a lot of dive potentials with that Ganesha ult combined with the Ravana dive, Hera with the huge AoE knockup, Argus just running you down, Amaterasu running you down, and Ishtar ult. And again, that's just on paper. We'll see how this game actually plays out. But if we do play these out and it isn't an attrition war and then the filthy oars are able to get in that dunk comp, then and just gas pedal, I do think that the team fights do end up in the Filthy Oars' favor. What are your thoughts, Atuxiu?
I definitely do see that being the case of if they are unable to just run down the filthy oars, then seeing Ravana coming out of the jungle, having a Ganeshal just loft on you,
Yeah.
um, and just all the other CC that filthy oars offer is just absolutely disgusting.
Yeah. Um, One thing too is the Filthy Oars actually like have a lot of early game potential with that comp. The Rotanasker does have the benefit of having that global, so side lane ganks could go in the favor of Amber's Britches. But if we're talking about, for instance, invading jungle or like getting a pick and then playing for an OBJ, I do put that advantage in the Filthy Oars' hands.
Oh yes, definitely. Um, Definitely do. With just even though Rat is can be very sneaky, Ravana does have the ability to just sneak in, sneak out.
Yeah,
Um,
pretty unkillable into a Rotanasker and Discordia mid lane if they play it correctly. And here we go. We're in the game. Um,
we are starting to load in as we're waiting for players to load in.
I do think
Um,
that the Filthy Oars will have quite an advantage if they clear correctly on the duo side, and that might just open up enough pressure for a Ravana gank early. They could either dupe it on duo lane with their pressure, or and gank solo lane, or they can just go all in onto the duo side gank.
yes, definitely. Definitely would be good to see a nice early invade from Filthy Oars, trying to slow down the Ore Master himself,
Yeah,
Aeron.
one thing that you want to do is not as or you don't want to do as the Filthy Oars is let this game like run on because that makes the Amber's bitch or Britches team a lot more able to get their damage online so that they can get their poke down, and then it gets Charon scaled into the late game and he's basically unkillable, and then you have the ulti. So you want as the Filthy Oars in their comp to just gas pedal and use that pressure early to really go into and get every objectives, maybe even get an early fire giant. So as we're picking up the builds, everything looks relatively standard as you would expect. Nothing too out of the ordinary with the solo MILF going the Vampiric Shroud and Tiny Trinket. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, no, looks like standard builds. Ooh, I do love me some benevolence on support. I'm a bit biased towards what that can turn into.
Yeah, no, I totally
But
agree with you. I think that Benny's really good.
um, but definitely is just seemingly standard builds right now that you see from just about everyone as we're
Yeah.
watching this game start out.
Opting for the double clear on Amber's Bridges. I do think that Filthy Oars are going for the triple clear. Here we go.
It
Taking a lot of damage from the speed buff. I think they have taken quite a bit of big hits from the speed buff camp, so might need to work on that a little bit. And here we are with the triple camp setup with the Filthy Oars. Have not taken that much damage. Good clear, as we would expect.
is very good
Um,
clear, a lot
the
better clear
Ganesha
than I usually have.
the Ganesha also opts for the meditation. Not gonna do too much early. Oh, with a lot of pressure, Karen forced to dash out. I think that playing up for that wave might be a little bit risky considering how much pressure Ishtar Ganesha has this early in the game.
I I definitely agree. Definitely do offer quite a bit with that Ganesh dash, that Ganesh one. Ishtar being able to just clear the entire wave at the same time.
Mhm. One thing about this, the reason why warriors are not picked as often right now in the meta is because of just how good the clear is on late solo laners. No Breastplate of Valor nerf in sight, and so they just pick up that item and are basically as tanky and as unkillable as like a warrior at that stage in the game, and you just get out cleared. And the only warrior that can really match that is Amaterasu, which is why you actually see her pick so often. Or one of the reasons why you see her pick so often. She's also that one passive, and then the ulti clears up a lot of room. And as you would expect, the Morgan Le Fay is going to outclear the Ama this early, so you can expect that to be advantage into the Amber's Britches Morgan Le Fay pick. It looks like we are getting a gank into duo lane. Here we see the Ravana gank. Not going to get too much, misses the root. Might have been able to force out the beads, but yeah. Relatively unsuccessful gank, but got shield buff pressure.
Definitely does continue to give Chaos side here just more pressure in the lane.
A back camp steal by MZ's jungler. I like that too. I am the coach for the Filthy Oars. And yeah, we do have MZ281 and MZ's jungler. And MZ's jungler just stole the back camps and might look for pressure on this attack speed buff.
Yes, it does appear that he is looking to steal this purple. He is going back in for another gank. See if it will cause... It does allow Ishtar to seemingly get out.
Yeah, Yoma taking a lot of damage there. Might still be able to just get... Yeah. It looks like Retardisters might be looking for a game on Soul side, so MZ's jungler just gets a free attack speed buff.
He does. Looks like
Disco got poked.
Oh,
and
do you see first blood?
Yeah, that's that early clear pressure from the Morgan Le Fay, getting the early first blood onto MZ.
Definitely is unfortunate, but it is kind of a little expected, you know. Mages are just seemingly stronger in early with just how power lines up.
Yep. About what you would expect. Probably could have played it a little bit safer. The ulti was up. I don't know what exactly happened there, but unfortunately, they do, or fortunately for the Amber's Britches, they do get the pickup on the first blood.
Yes. We are just kind of in that lull of everyone just farming, working their way to like, you know, that level 10, level 12 power curve where they can get their second relic, where they can fight.
Despite the early pressure that the Filthy Oars composition offers, they actually find themselves slightly behind because of that first blood and not really too much pressure offered on the map. It will scale as they did get their back harpies. The Amber's Britches got their back harpies and their attack speed buff. Might be able to get a kill on the Karen, very close, not able to get it. Still, Hachiman holding ground, might actually get picked up. Oh my goodness, the shell.
That shell just absolutely, oh my, and Ganesh trying really hard, and he will get killed for it, but
that's amazing. Seeing your Ganesha dive, try getting the kill onto the Amber mid. I do love to see a Ganesha kill just soloing out, diving T1 to get the kill. That's pretty exciting.
It is very exciting, and also something to be very concerned for. Once a Ganesh tastes blood, he never goes back to being the same.
Oh!
And we do see a fight breaking, and possibly a Ratatasker dead under tower. Oh, he does die, but we do see a reversal there.
Yeah.
With Hachi picking up a kill.
Yeah. And still, we find Amber's Britches still slightly ahead, despite all of that early pressure by the Filthy Oars.
That we do. We do have a nice little 400 gold lead right now.
What do you think about Prophetic Cloak on Sharon? In my opinion, it's pretty necessary. How do you see that scale over Gauntlet first?
I definitely like it. I feel like he does have the ability to stack it well, assuming he can land autos and land abilities. And it will give him more tankiness than the Ganesh later in the game. But the Ganesh will have a bit of a lead with stacking it sooner.
It will be a lot tankier, and we'll see how that pans out, and if the Filthy Oars can capitalize on that early potential. You see, still getting held under Argus put down, no kill in mid. You see some pressure onto Hera. Forces the beads.
Will the beads be enough?
Kill.
Again, that Ganesh doing his work, owning his teammates.
Oh!
Here
comes the double ulti onto the Hera in mid. Are they able to get the kill? And Bombshot does get the kill onto Try. Here we go with the...
You see the Ravana.
Ravana blink in. Misses the 3, so does not get the kill, unfortunately. This Karen is farming stacks to effectively 3 right now. I don't think there's much kill potential. Forces out the retreat ulti from the Ravana. I will say that could have probably been avoided by better positioning.
Definitely could have. Definitely could have. Very good on the Charon, forcing that out of the enemy jungler like that.
And really good heads up double ult. The Charon ulti missed, but created enough pressure so that Kaden or Try could not walk back towards the tower, and then the Ratatosker dunk ult able to pick up the kill. Amaterasu very squishy at this point of the game, opting for the Scepter start, which you do see. It won't help to clear too much though into a Morgan Le Fay. Then again, not much can match a Mage Soul Laner, except for another Mage Soul Laner at this point in the game.
Ooh, very nice seeing an early blue totem mask. Sure,
Yeah,
I'm sure many players are doing some very silent or not so silent rejoicing as we
yeah, especially the
goes on.
supports. The supports seem to really enjoy that extra 10% CDR. And early game, it probably is better on mages to go the CDR, but I have seen that players do opt for the lifesteal towards mid game because that sustain from mage can make all the difference. As we see Ravana hovering, maybe trying to look to steal, opts not to. Good drag back by Sir Logan, pulling the attack speed behind the tower. You can even, when the tower is hitting the minions there, you can even drag the camp underneath the tower so you don't miss any minions, but I don't think that they missed any minions anyways.
Yes, definitely a smart call to ensure that his buff is not taken, as we do see Ravana just kind of hiding in the jungle looking for a pick.
Filthy Oars getting small WC. Go ahead and face check the green buff on the Amber's Bridges side and do end up getting it and mid camp. So decent small win for the Filthy Oars. Still finding themselves significantly behind. Yoma does pick up the solo 1v1 into Sir Logan. And that puts the Filthy Oars in a much better position than they were. Here comes the pressure on Hera. Huge ulti combination, and Try is down. The whiff there by NC's jungler was in anticipation of the rat dash. It might not have even been up in that situation. I do appreciate the heads up play in that it might have come, but it does end up missing it and sadly walks away, killed between the legs. Good dive.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with you, Krab. You see that we do see that that Amber's Britches, even though being ahead in gold, are missing a tower here in the duo lane.
Yeah, pretty good gank target at this point in the game, especially if the Ravana can mosey their way in and pinch the Hachiman. We just saw Yoma be able to 1v1 Sir Logan, so maybe looking for that again and then playing up with Ravana. We do see the rat walking in, will trip that sentry ward, does catch it out and re-sentries that, so the gank will not go through for the time being. One thing that I do notice that the Filthy Oars are, as Try picks up a solo kill on Miss Amber in mid. Hera, a lot of burst damage with Argus. Might not even use the Argus here. I'm curious as to how they got the kill in mid next. Here comes the pressure again. The Karen Rat combo doing a ton. Rat might be caught out here, is not. Is gonna re-dunk on the Hera.
Let's see if this.
Ooh, and is able to dash out. That's huge for Amber's Britches. Are still
Wow.
looking for the pressure onto the Karen. Are we gonna see another Ganesh solo kill? That might have been an overdive, but I do think that the Ganesh is totally fine here. As we see, Amaterasu is also pressured out from this Morgan Le Fay pick.
Definitely
Small,
are. And
small dub by the Oars picking up the beacon.
definitely. I'm sure this Hera wishes for a for something more as she does fall to the rat
Yeah.
a second ago. And just coming
Pretty
back.
easy gank target if the polymorph is down, or if the jungle has beats to leave the polymorph. But definitely could have positioned better so that the rat had a much harder time ganking without follow-up in mid lane. By being that close and hugging the T1 tower, the Hera shield disappeared, and the rat was able to catch up to the Hera, and there was follow-up as a result of being that close to T1 tower. I really think that the Filthy Oars have been doing a better job at clearing their buffs on cooldown. That will make more of a difference as the game rolls on. But right now, the Amber's Britches do find themselves still 1k. I will say, I do think that it's interesting that MZ is able to maintain somewhat even in that lane against the Morgan Le Fay, as we do see yet another dunk onto the Hera. Hera dead to the disco ult. Does get the trade though on the counter. They might be able to. Filthy Oars forcing out the Hachi ult and do pick up the support on the Amber's Britches. So here comes the Gold Fury Rift. And they should be able to get this for free. MZ, the Amaterasu, able to stay in mid lane just in case. As we see Hachi soft picking.
Definitely a good fight on Filthy Oars' side. Picking up those picks and being able to go for that.
Yeah.
And being able to then and being able to then take out the Hachi, who probably should have just backed in the first place, and and understood that the Gold Fury is lost, unfortunately.
MZ dashing in might be in trouble now, and they do get caught out. Ravana might have overstayed as well. No follow-up from the rest of the Filthy Orange squad. Does juke out the disco ult is, oh my goodness, that's a lot of damage from Amber's Britches, nuking the Ravana there. Definitely an overstay by the Filthy Oars, as the Amber's Britches do still find themselves ahead in gold. Somewhat behind in XP, but after picking up Gold Fury, that's not something you'd want to see.
Definitely not. Definitely see this game being very close for how far it's gone on. Being as Solo did pick up that tier 1 tower.
Mm-hmm. And as this game goes on, the Amber's Britches, again, they're looking to scale until late game with their poke, because right now, the Disco ult and the Disco 1 and 2 hurt, but it's gonna hurt a lot more when just one of those abilities hits you for like 60% of your health bar and squish you in late game. Same with the Morgan Le Fay.
It definitely will. I do not envy anyone playing in this game. As I am not the biggest fan of seeing mage solos, especially playing against them, as they do so much while taking so little.
Looks like we have a gank, forcing out the Hachi ult. Really good gank by the Filthy Oars. just forcing out the safe ulti, which is one of the reasons why Hachiman's also a really good pick, is because of that safety with that ulti. CC immune and covers a lot of ground. We'll see what kind of pressure the Filthy Oars try to pick up with that ulti being down. Looks like we have a rotation by Yoma on the Ishtar. We see the rat
ult, the Charon ult.
They do find the burst potential onto jungler Arc. The Filthy Oars are not able to find another kill. Oh, there it goes, the Rotatasker. Ishtar with just so much damage at this point in the game, but that's not something we want to see. A 5v4 and they find themselves even in terms of trading. So the Hachiman's just able to farm, gets the T1, and might even catch a little bit of Filthy Oars jungle as a result of it too.
Yes, and you do see them going for the beacon here. The Ganesha ult, you do see the Ama ult.
It is just the 2 tanks, but they're not finding quick damage.
Will they get a pick on this?
They are forced off of the beacon, but they will not find kills. Hera sitting here getting a lot of them. The Disco ult whiffs, the Hera ult lands, and as well as the Ravana ult, and they do find the pickup onto the Hachiman with no ults. Again, forcing that out in duo lane did get the kill there. Oh. As we see Yoma caught out by the Rotatasker, and Rotatasker just able to come out.
Yes, if you were to look closely, you would see that Ganesha's eyes are red with Bloodshot, as he is looking for another kill.
Yes. By the Filthy Oars. There's no more vision by Amber's Britches. The rat sniffs it out though, just happen and walks in and just steals it with the acorn. You hate to see that if you're the Filthy Oars. Try to sneak it away and end up getting it snuckily. Is that even a word? Like taken back.
It might not be, but it might not be what it is today. as it is just, you know, giving that Amber's britches just a slightly more, you know, gold lead, as they do lose that T1 in mid.
Right. They should have picked up, the Filthy Oars did have a regular ward over near where the Rotatasker paths to, so I'm wondering if they even caught that out and they just decided that they could potentially outburst the Rotatasker, but unfortunately they cannot find it. As we see the warding here onto the Pyromancer. That is the next OBJ that they are willing to contest for. I will say this Sharon and Rotatasker ult dunk combo in mid lane has been incredible for Amber's Britches.
It definitely is filthy, making the Oars here think maybe they are the clean Oars, you know?
The clean Oars. As we do see a lull in the action, we do see the double Breastplate of Valor pickups onto the Filthy Oars, and only one onto the Amber's Britches, and it is going to be on that Milk solo lane. I do still think it's a good pickup onto mid laners. It gives you that increased survivability, 20% CDR. Not really scrapping too much for damage because you just have so much as just a mage.
Very much so. And if you do look, you will see that that Charon is doing a very good job at stacking his prophetic, as it is fully stacked. He is looking for that last stack here any time now.
Also, don't find the return bounce onto the Disco ult, bounces to the Ganesha as well. The Filthy Oars have taken a lot of damage here. Fighting over the Pyromancer. We see the full dive by the Karen. Yoma does pick up a double kill. Yoma staying perfectly healthy, finds the triple kill onto the mid laner. Is this a penta? No, it might be a quadra though. As they are looking for, oh, and there's the Dia side as they look to pull the Fire Giant. That's just strength. I don't know if you saw that, but the Ishtar ult catching basically everybody inside of it, and just the crit just ripping through.
is such a filthy combo. I take back my previous comment about them being the clean Oars.
The clean
And as their coach, did you teach them that one, or was that
it's
that
something
play they
that
already
we've
knew?
been working on a lot is fire giant dances, but that was just over pyro. We've done pretty well over objective fights in the season. We really started to pick up and clean up, even though or maybe filthy up our FG dances and our pushing. But those are two things that we had basically in the bag. Were those little scuffles and then also the small OB favors.
Is such a huge pickup of just understanding how the fight works and just picking apart at these britches here, pulling out the threads and pulling out an overall win for that fight.
So we'll see. They will probably be prio standard. All 2-2s are up for the Amber's Britches. We might see a split push by the Amaterasu, but they also have enough strength in their composition to just walk in and take the T2s if they would like. The question is, how good will Filthy Oars be on the siege for the Phoenixes? Again, as we stated before, Amber's Britches does have a lot of poke into their comp, and they do have a lot of chase down potential, so that could be scary pushing into a or not a pyromancer, a Phoenix at this point in the game, as we do see them grouping up the T2 mid.
It is very likely, as they will probably force a pick or two and force an objective.
Amaterasu looking for a really good flank. Amaterasu might get caught out, does get caught out, might have overstayed her welcome there. As we do find the Filthy Oars down one player. Huge pickup by Amber's Britches. That's probably one of the best case scenarios for them. Lose T1 mid, stifles the entire push. They'll have to wait for that respawn.
Yes. Will this Gold Fury call cost them anything other than just giving them gold?
They do look like they are trying to push an engagement here. The Amber's Britches dashing in, looking for maybe the pickup onto. Never mind. Yoma and Trizumi are finding the pickups against the Amber's Britches. Rat has to dash or ulti defensively. Gets the root with the Ravana pick. Discordia is probably dead here. Good peel by the Ratatosker. As we see the Sharon dash to safety. So what are your thoughts on that team fight?
So much going on. So will Ganesh is looking for a second kill.
Onto the Sharon does not. What are your thoughts on that team fight with Amber's Britches and offensive 5v4?
Definitely a very risky call. I personally would have called for retreat, but that's something saying about my character and not really trusting my teammates. But they obviously do trust, and they do know that they can push and they can win these fights even while down one.
I do think that Amber's Britches, if they had tried to see the Ravana get stunned out by the Acorn, might look for the kill potential onto the Ravana. It is a risky dunk. Terra with the good polymorph, and Ravana escapes. Pretty dang healthy too. I do like Amber's Britches initiative on recognizing that they did have a numbers advantage, but end up not being able to execute onto the gank potential onto the Filthy Oars, and instead get blown up by the Ishtar, just delivering so much damage.
Yes.
Amaterasu What are your thoughts? Wait, what was that?
I was just going to ask, are they going to be able to push out the last T2 while pushing out this Titan?
They have two Phoenixes down. They very much might be able to. I think that if the FG is spawning in time, it's better to rip it in this scenario. Good heads-up play, getting the Pyromancer. I would try to focus onto the Fire Giant. They should have timer, but if they don't, then they kind of lose that pressure with that Titan push. As they do find out the mill inside the jungle, huge damage chasing down the Rotatosker as well. This might just be game. They are looking to push the engagement, diving under T2 tower, full diving Sharon. It might be a little bit too risky to continue diving. I take back what I said just there. They do find the third kill and the T2. This should just be a free fire zone.
Definitely a very good fight on Filthy Oars side, understanding that they did see two over there taking care of the Titan marching down solo lane as they
the death timers are just too long. They look for the damage onto the Titan. This should just be game. Unless they all get wiped by this Discordia damage. And they don't. And that is the end of game 1. Filthy Oars find themselves on top.
I would like to say this probably goes solely down to that Ganesh's kill and him wanting more blood as the game continued.
Yeah, the Ganesha with the 1 kill advantage just completely snowballed the game out of Amber's Britch's control. Despite them being able to hold onto their small lead early and into early mid game, that kill was just too much. Here we see the post game stats.
Very much so, very much so.
Are we heading into intermission right now?
We might be in a second. We'll just want to commentate a little bit on these numbers.
Right. I do think that again, it is incredibly risky with Amber's Britch's team comp to take the full-on dive engagement. I know that you want to try to get that Sharon and Rotatosker combo, but their burst is going to be significantly less than the Filthy Oars. So just taking an engagement like that without pre-poking out the Filthy Oars is going to put them at a huge disadvantage in team fights. And unfortunately, even with that numbers advantage around that beacon area, the fight did go into the Filthy Oars' hands, even with that one person deficit.
Definitely was a huge fight for them to have won, and it definitely says a lot of just the just understanding and possible slight skill difference of being able to turn a 4v5 into a 4v4 and then a 3v4 and then I think it was a 2v4 um, before just being able to just absolutely win the fight entirely.
Mhm. Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see because they did execute in mid lane really well with the Ratotasker and the Sharon and the Disco ult dunks onto Trisumi with the Hera in mid lane. Um, but unfortunately, it was not enough as we see that the Filthy Oars do take it. We'll see if they want to go with a different comp advantage. If they do discuss what they're looking for in team fights, that is the Amber's Britches, so that they better utilize their characters' skill sets going into the next game. And then for the Filthy Oars, just working on positioning. There were plenty of times where the mid lane or the solo lane would get caught out, or there would be over diving by the jungler. So we'll see how they fix that up going into game 2.